AITA for not agreeing with my husband to fund his brother's trip from our joint savings? Story 1. Not the a-hole. I 37F and my husband 38M have been married for 9 years with 2 kids 8YO and 1YO. We are both working and my husband earns more than me. From the start of our marriage, we agreed to keep a joint bank account and a personal bank account, In this way, we are able to share with the responsibilities of covering our family expenses and have our own money for personal needs. Recently, my Bill 41M shared the news that his Sil that lives overseas is getting married. Her immediate family in the country has been invited to attend the wedding. Her only sister, my Bill's wife, is expected to be there. The trip will require visa and, of course, plane tickets. As we know, traveling is a bit expensive. My Bill has to pay for his plane tickets and visa processing as not all the expenses can be covered by his Sil. For this, my Bill is asking not borrowing money from my husband to fund his travels. My husband was planning to give out, but he would take it from our joint account and not his personal account. I firmly said no and told him that if he wants to help, he can get money from his personal account and give what he can afford. I also said that if his Bill cannot afford the trip, then he shouldn't be joining. His wife can go with her family to attend the wedding. My husband is now upset as he said that I said no, and even mentioned that I was a bit insensitive as my family side was never in the situation to ask extra money from us. I told him that I do help out with my family side's expenses in case of emergency, but I never touch our joint account in helping them. My Bill is still pestering my husband for his contribution, but my husband is still silent on how much to give. So, AITA in this situation? Update. Editing this original post for update. First off, thank you for the advice, feedback, and concerns. A lot of you were asking how much is the cost of the trip. We are from Asia and the wedding will be in the US. The cost of plane ticket and travel expenses is quite high. Their plan is stay for another 2 weeks after the wedding. All in all, estimated cost is around USD 2,500. My husband and I had a discussion on this matter. I was relieved when he admitted that it was wrong of him to think about using money from our joint account. He apologized for it and on how he reacted when I said no to the request. He assured me that he has not touched our joint account. I've checked our account and sure enough there was no fund transfer recorded. My husband initially thought of our joint account as he didn't have enough money to the Bill's request. I honestly don't know how much he has in his personal account. It is his money. He also doesn't know how much I have on my own account. He feels that he needs to provide as he earns more than the rest of his siblings. I told him that if it is an emergency, we can help. In this case, it is not an emergency or a priority. He shouldn't feel bad or burden himself about setting boundaries. We end our discussion with him still open to pitch in, but only around USD 200. He will get the money from his personal account. In the evening, we had a dinner with his side of the family. The topic of the trip came up. Bill was excited and jokingly asked solicitation from his siblings. It was a good thing their mom, my husband, and another Bill, their other brother, told him off and said that if he wants to go, then he needs to fund his trip. Bill awkwardly laughs it off and was saying about getting commission bonus at work. My other Sil married to the other brother secretly informed me that Bill also made demand to the other brother. I just hope and pray that he does find other ways instead from asking or soliciting from families. First comment. It would seem like a reasonable thing for Bill to borrow money, but a gift? That seems like a lot. Seems odd that your husband won't fund it out of his own account. One wonders if he can't, or it is so much that he doesn't want to. At any rate, NTA. Second comment. NTA. A loan maybe, but not an outright gift. Your husband can pay from his own account, not joint if he wants to give the money. Why does anyone have to contribute? Third comment. NTA. This isn't an emergency or a death. It's a vacation. Either way, if both parties don't agree on how the money should be spent, then it shouldn't be spent. It's a joint account. He can help his brother with his personal money, like you said. But I don't fund vacations. Let's see if your husband does. Also, why was he so keen on spending the joint savings but not keen on spending his personal money? Story 2. AITA for calling my brother-in-law an arrogant snob and arsehole for not respecting my boyfriend and not wanting to pay him for his work. Not the a-hole. I 32F have been with my boyfriend 34M for almost 7 years now. My sister 34F got married about a year ago to her long-term boyfriend 36M. Shortly after my sister got married, she became pregnant with my little nephew. About 3 months after he was born, Bill asked my boyfriend, who was a mechanic, to check his car. He happily agreed, ordered new parts, and it took about 3 hours to do the whole service and renew everything necessary. But all went fine. They had fun chatting a bit, and we agreed to meet for coffee the Sunday afterwards. On Saturday, my sister called me to ask how much they owe to my boyfriend for the work. I told her I would ask and got back to them with a text saying that the total would be €150. For comparison, if Bill would have went to a car shop, he would have paid around €900. A few minutes later, my sister calls me, telling me that this amount is ridiculous and that Klaus is fuming as he expected not to pay anything but the parts. I'm super confused and tell her that the guys should talk directly to each other to figure this out. So we hang up and me and my boyfriend have time to get super pissed about their behavior. For the greater context, you need to know that my Bill always made clear that he doesn't like my boyfriend, saying mean things about this blue-collar clothes, family, hairstyle, music taste, etc. My sister always made sure to tell me about those comments, forcing me to stand between the sides, so I repeatedly ask her to stop this and accept that he is the man making me happy. Anyway, my boyfriend was willing to again swallow his pride, give up on the money, and to talk like a normal family when visiting them and the baby the next day. The next morning arrives and I'm texting my sister at what time we should come over. She just replied, as long as this isn't sorted out, we should not visit them. This is when I lost it and started to cry, as I cannot understand why I'm being punished for this by not being allowed to see my little nephew, who I love to death and was looking forward to see all week. So my boyfriend called Bill in my defense, telling him that this is unacceptable and that they don't have to get along, but there is no need to be mean to me about this. Bill just laughed it off. Then sister calls me and I, in my anger and frustration, tell her that she should know we don't care about money, but it's unfair to expect everything for free, because we are family when at any other occasion they don't accept us being a couple. I tell her she shouldn't have let this get between me and her, and, I admit it, called Bill an arrogant and snobbish arsehole. Just when she started calling my live primitive, I hang up and we have not spoken since. As you can imagine, there is quite a backstory here, but that would be too much for one post. So far, regarding this situation itself, AITA update. Wow, had no idea this post would go that far, that fast. Thank you very much for your NTA verdict and the very nice and honest comments. I tried to answer as many as possible and will let you know some more details here. 1. Yes, my boyfriend has been compensated for the parts, and guess what? Bill left the money for the work in our mailbox last night, without a word. So sorry, no petty revenge needed right now. It's not our style anyway, but your ideas made me laugh and distracted me a little. 2. My mother loves my BF and feels very insecure around my sister and Bill, as they are very judgmental towards her too. She, however, is afraid to speak up for us, as she fears my sister will not let her see her only grandchild then. Who am I to blame her? It hurts very bad, but what she is doing there is just so wrong, and I will do my best to protect my mom too. 3. I agree with some of you stating that I was a lousy girlfriend letting my family go this far, and I'm super happy and grateful my wonderful man still stands by my side. I'm sorry for everything that happened in the past and will stop the circle now. 4. Bill used to be kind of a carpenter, then clay modeler, and now works at an office doing something with graphic design. Everything has to be clean and tidy at all times, and he used to be embarrassed being seen in work clothes in public. Ridiculous. 5. What will I do? I decided to go stay NC with my sister and Bill, and already notice how liberated and relieved I'm feeling. Maybe I will write a letter telling her how I feel and insist on the apology she owes us. But I don't know if it will be possible to ever have a good relationship with her. The relationship with my BF, however, has never been better, as I finally 100% realized how much I love him and that he is the one I want. I would marry him from the spot, but he married young, and after being divorced he doesn't want to repeat this experience. It doesn't matter. He is my family and I don't need a piece of paper saying this. First comment, NTA, your brother-in-law will have car trouble again. And when that happens, he can pay your boyfriend the €900 shop rate for his previous trouble or never get family help again. Second comment, NTA. Bit confused though why you haven't stood up for your boyfriend in the past when your Bill has made remarks about your BF. Why did you let your sister keep telling you about those remarks? Why you didn't shut that down? Why you stood between sides? If you weren't actively defending your BF and putting boundaries in place, then you did choose a side, your Bills. Third comment, NTA. So sorry that your sister's kid will miss out on spending time with you. Story 3. AITA for not moving in with my boyfriend's mother? Not the a-hole. I 30F and my boyfriend 32 have been together for over 6 years. We have been living together in the upstairs apartment of his grandparents' house the entire time paying rent. His mother lives in the basement apartment of said house. My boyfriend and I have always talked about owning a house together in the coming years as we have saved up a good amount of money for being fortunate enough to pay discounted rent considering the family home. However, those plans have now changed and my boyfriend says he wants his mother to move into the new house with us as it would be cheaper since she will have inherited money from the main house whenever they sell it. Now, I just want to preface, I have no issues with his family at all. I love them dearly and I think they're all good people. But it really put a damper on my outlook of owning a home if it won't be just me and my boyfriend. My entire life I've just wanted to have a house of my own with someone, and now that won't be the case. I have talked to him about it, but he just got extremely pissed off and defensive at me saying it's his mother and he doesn't want her to live on her own. I brought up that when she gets older he will have to constantly take care of her, and mind you, he's generally a lazy person and does not take care of even our own cat, which leads me to believe I will be the one caring for his mother in the future. He said if I don't like it I can just leave, which is fair enough, but I love him and spend so much of my time and effort into him. I don't know, am I the asshole for this? Should I just be grateful we will have a home? First comment. NTA, please listen to BF and leave. Your life will be miserable if you stay under these circumstances.